time people thought I wrote this tune. I used to sell them just a little bit of lead copies for 35 cents there. I kept the sheet music so nobody could see it. If I was whiskey, you were the duck. I dive to the bottom and I never come up. Oh, how long do I have to wait? Can I get it now? Do I have to hesitate? If I had a woman, she was tall. She made me think about my parasol. Oh, how long do I have to wait? Can I get it now? Do I have to hesitate? No lady by the name of Jane, I hit a doctor right off her cane. Oh, how long do I have to wait? Can I get it now? Do I have to hesitate? Mama, mama, look at sis, she's out on the levee, do the double twist. Lord, how long do I have to wait? Can I get you now? Do I have to hesitate?
That's not the way, BG. You'll bring a whole military machine down on our heads.
Extraordinary actor.
Frank Silvera. Very few ever knew he was black. If you enjoy watching movies and television, I'm sure you recognize this man's face, a phenomenal and extremely versatile actor. This man played every role you can imagine. He appeared in some of Hollywood's biggest films. He guest starred in television's most greatest shows. He was a highly successful black actor in the 50s and the 60s who, because of his light-skinned appearance, transcended race and ethnicity in his performances. Frank Silvera was cast in Latin parts, Native American. He played mostly white roles, and every now and then he would play what he really was, black, and no one ever knew the difference. A little-known fact is that Silvera was the first black man to kiss a white woman in a major Hollywood film, Stanley Kubrick's The Killer's Kiss in 1955.
Campaigner Gordon. Gordon, tonight will come as a bitter pill indeed. This was the fight to prove his last chin between native and sterner stuff.
In fact, no other black actor during the 50s and 60s worked more than him in television and film, not even Sidney Poitier. Today, you might compare his body of work to the likes of Sam Jackson. Frank began his career on stage with the Harlem American Negro Theater and with the Actors Studio, studying alongside Marlon Brando and Steve McQueen. He would eventually become the founder of theater companies of his own, including the Theater of Being and the Harlem-based Frank Silvera's Workshop, co-founded with a young Morgan Freeman. It's time to recognize one of the most versatile black actors to ever take the stage and screen. Black History Mini-Doc salutes the great Frank Silvera.
Greetings and welcome to the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop new play reading series. Immediately following this reading, there'll be a moderated critique session where you can offer direct feedback about what you just watched to the playwright. Today's reading is directed by Susan Watson Turner. And now we're so pleased to present Red XXX, written by Jamal Williams.
The Red XXX, a play by Jamal Williams. There will be slides of life-size, age-appropriate photos of the illustrious characters flashed or highlighted on the walls of the theater as the play progresses. If Beale Street Could Talk plays over. Prologue, The Green Room, at the studio of the Royal Family, October 11, 1991. The lights come up slowly on two mature Black women enjoying plates of chicken and biscuits. Red enters wearing a sharp outfit, accessorized with a fur coat and a white fedora hat.
I smells like Colonel tried to open a sanctuary up in here for chickens. Looking at the pile of bones on y'all's plates and the grease on your lips, somebody fooled them. Those poor chickens didn't stand a chance.
Oh, Libby Lips, you know the bird was calling to you. Take off your coat, get a chair, put your bib on, and let's send Foghorn Leghorn to Jesus.
No, Wanda, don't be blasphemous in front of a minister.
Oh, no disrespect intended, Della.
Besides, I'm too pissed to be hungry.
He sits down and talks. The women silently watch him.
You memorized today's script already, Red?
Fuck the script. Give me a cigarette, Della.
Oh, I could use a square myself, but I thought this was a non-smoking production environment.
Give me a square, you old bug-eyed she-buzzard.
LaWanda takes a pack of cigarettes out her purse. He lights it.
Sorry, didn't mean to tear your head off. Must be having an Aunt Esther flashback. But don't forget, I'm the one who created that character.
We created Aunt Esther together.
My brain's in your face. I suggested a little adjustment in slowing down the theatrics for television. I wanted you to get a check, and those producers weren't feeling it. Said you wasn't funny enough for television.
Hot Flame Esther? No. it was a new medium, honey. Not one of my sweaty juke joints where I normally make my rent money. Remember how we did it? The guy said,
Lamont Stanford is my son.
And I said, what did you say, nigga? The guy says, I said Lamont is my son.
Grip said he and your sister.
There is no peace, saith the Lord. Get thee behind me, Satan. But I'm going to get behind you and put my foot in your ass. You were right, Red. I ain't going to lie. The world now loves their Aunt Esther. And I thank you for that, and my bank account does as well. You know how to take care of your friends, Red.
True, but with you, it was mostly a face. That ain't changed in much in 30 years.
Oh, Red!
Old habits is hard to break. In some faces, it's hard to get away from.
And what is it about me, Red?
You, Della? All my friends are talented and with you, it was your snappy sophistication.
Well, thank you. But I always liked your paychecks, too.
He paying me a guest star's paycheck for doing this show. Mama said, never get angry at the paycheck man, not this late in my career. But I feel you, Red. Between the IRS jacking you and now a producer disrespecting you.
You still pissed at the IRS? Red, that was 2 years ago anyway.
My butt still hurts from the ringing they did to me, Della. I'm still paying and will never forget her ever. Is that a silver whiskey flask still jammed up in your stocking top?
Don't say that too loud. I'm a woman of the holy cloth, child.
Holy like Grand Marnier, I hope. Specialized religions don't change your habits, Della. Give it up, my friend.
But you a minister now, Della.
They didn't stop smoking reefer and drinking booze behind the cues, did they? Come on, Della, today I really need it.
Della takes the flask off the top of her stockings.
After all that shit that happened to me in the last few years, you'd think that the someone on this blood-sucking television production crew would show me some sympathy, some compassion, some fucking breaks. All I know is that I've made the producers of this show multi-millionaires, and still they treat me like a damn chicken circuit Negro. It's a rehearsal at my fucking hit show. I don't even have a word of dialogue in that scene. What the hell? I feel like stabbing someone in the forehead with a black woman's butcher knife on camera right here in front of the show's captive audience. It's only a damn rehearsal.
Starts to exit.
Now, where you going with the cigarettes and my flask of bug juice, Red?
To stir up some shit. Did you wash your asses?
Oh, fuck you, Red. I've heard that joke so many times, it ain't funny no more.
Lights lower as Red exits. Act 1, Scene 1, the CBS Sound Stage. An upscale Jamaican dancehall tune, Lord Kitchener, singing old-time calypso plays. Red, with a smoking cigarette, comes out dancing like an old ancient man. After a few moments, he motions with his hands to cut the music.
Greetings, all my beautiful people out there, and the ugly ones too. And we, the mirror, and your mama knows who that is, don't we?
Red starts to sing a tune from a plain brown rapper in 1983.
Got to get my old tuxedo pressed, shine my shoes, get my vest. Tonight I've got to look my best, 'cause Lou's back in town. You can tell the mailman not to call, ain't coming here till the fall. I might not be back home at all. Lulu's a prostitute, and she's worth every half a dollar. I haven't sung that little ditty in many years. Felt good walking back down Chitlin Circuit Memory Lane. Even my little captive audience, some of you don't know how lucky you are, because I'm good. I swear to God and 3 other godlike white men that I'm good. Studio bosses snatch you up off Hollywood Boulevard, don't tell you what show they're taking you to, and they don't even feed you or let you really leave early. Hooray, you have crossed time and space and have joined the Exploited Club. I'm initiating all of you.
Starts making the sound of the Twilight Zone jingle.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of the mind. You moving into a land of both shadows and substance of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. Thanks, Rod Sterling. Wasn't that some spooky shit? Man, the man used to do some very scary episodes. Remember that one with the doctor treating that woman who thought she had a mutilated face, only to find out that everybody in their world had creepy monster faces and hers was beautiful? Kind of remind me of a few of my wives, ugly as hell. Yet, folks, have hit the jackpot today. I'm going to warm it up with jokes today. Why? Because this is my show, and what I want to do, I do, and I do, and what I don't want, I don't. Some of you may recognize me, and some of you don't.
Scene 2, the green room continuously. Lights come up on a collage of both women's life-size pictures. The women are drinking from Lawanda's flask and smoking cigarettes. They start playing spades.
That Red is one crazy man. What other famous rich fool just takes over a movie studio soundstage in LA and casually tells old jokes to an audience that never heard them before and ain't paid a dime for their seats?
Honey, you know him as well as I do. When he's like this, ain't no telling what else is coming.
But don't you think he's going about this wrong? I mean, here in the studio, in front of the boss's faces, this is where the real cash is stashed.
Don't play with a woman's money. And don't be cheating.
Honey, I've been playing spades since I was a child, and I know you. I don't worry about.
Don't let this soft voice fool your ass, honey.
Might fool the public, but I've been checking you out for over 40 years.
Not that that's important in my life. I've been checking you out as well. 2 different tough chicks.
Oh, we even then. Somebody needs to talk some sense into him. He messing with his health and our money.
Why don't you? You've known him for the longest, Lawanda.
And so do you, Della. He know what he's doing, do you?
Sounds like a threat to me. Should I be reaching for my blade?
Oh, no, heaven forbid. You're the head lady of the New Age church.
Serving the needs of the people.
Yes, sir, Lord.
Scene 3, the studio. Lights come up on Red, either sitting or pacing. Della gives Lawanda a long, dirty look before playing the first card.
You folks have hit the jackpot today. I locked the warm-up comedian in his dressing room and warned him if he came out, I was going to crazy him. I'm going to warm it up with the jokes today. Some of you may recognize me and some of you don't. Who's that gruffy, old voice, crusty Negro with the red hair slouching like he's at home on the television set? Could I be the janitor or the food delivery guy bringing some sandwiches to the studio cast? Didn't I see his face on the boards of the post office? No, it's simply I, John without the H, Elroy Sanford, from St. Louis, Missouri, better known as the man with the dirty mouth and the dirty jokes, Red Foxx. And I want to give you some words of advice spoken from someone who knows. Eliminate all the expert lessons that people been pumping into you all these years. You got to learn how to wash your ass. I ain't kidding you. As powerful or full of yourself you get, don't care how big or rich you are, you got to learn how to wash your ass. White guy with the title of producer tells me he can teach me how to be funny. Teach me? Motherfucker, you can't teach me shit except how to get you to give me more money for doing what I've been doing for at least the last 40 years without your fucking having to teach me how to be a fucking funny.
Della motions to Red.
That make you feel better, Red?
Don't like doing comedy to free seats.
They're my fans. When others fucking with you, that's where you go. I live for my audiences, you know that. Especially ones that can't slip out between the jokes.
Red sits down heavily in a chair. Della starts massaging his shoulders.
It ain't nice to leave him hanging, Red.
You guys interrupted. I'll go finish my set in a minute.
Closing his eyes.
Damn, Della, that feels good. I need this.
Your chitlin days are gone, Red.
Lucky I tolerate you, but no old broads for me. I like my women fresh and juicy and young, with an emphasis on young and juicy. Oh, and Asian too.
And that's why you ain't got no money now in your old deep heat liniment age.
Yeah, the IRS got most of it. but at least I get to walk around with a smile on my face and an occasional lump in my pants.
More like a lump in the back of your pants. Wash your own ass, Red.
Glad you're here. You always made me laugh. And laughter saves even the comedian from doing something he'd regret tomorrow.
Della is still massaging his shoulders.
When call time hits, will you be ready to put the new TV episode on the air?
When the time comes, we'll have to see, won't we?
I need that paycheck. I need to buy more milk and bread.
Boy, I can definitely testify to that. Woo! We good, boss man?
I ain't no boy. I'm a damn star.
This too shall pass, Red, with God's blessing.
God ain't fuck with me, Hollywood ass. Sorry, Reverend Reese. LaWanda, maybe you should take me to your church.
My church?
You know, the one from your youth.
Are you sure? You do know this is a town run by priests and rabbis. I might never work in Hollywood again. Well, okay, just between us.
Blasphemy never lost me a paycheck. People pay hundreds to hear me curse and talk dirty to everybody, including God. I need jokes that ain't coming from my bathroom mirror.
Maybe I should step out or something.
Reverend Della, maybe you should.
Della, we worked at the Chitlin Circuit for years. You used to tell some pretty blasphemous jokes yourself. Go ahead, LaWanda.
Well, okay, it's been a while. But I'm a little nervous. I'm about as nervous as a hoe in church.
Church? We know that a long time ago.
Well, but speaking of hoes, well, you know, the money ain't flowing like it used to out in the streets anymore. Yeah, buddy. Hoes having a hard time out there. Well, the hoes in such bad shape, one hoe says to the other one, hey, ain't no money out here in these streets no more. I'm just going to give this all up. I'm going to join the church. And so the other hoe don't believe her. So she says, okay, you going to join the church? Okay. If you join it, bitch, I'm going to be right up there with you. I'm going to be right there watching you. Okay, so that Sunday, the two hoes go to church. So the hoe that was having such a hard time on the streets, she goes up to the front of the church when they open the door. You know, when they start saying, come, come. And on the word come, bitch ran up to the front of the church. She ran up to the pulpit. And yep, she just ups and joins the church. So the preacher come down from the pulpit. He say, now we know you're a whore, but I want you to tell your determination. Well, honey, bitch got up, turned around, looked at everybody in the church. He says, well, brothers and sisters, members and friends, I'm going to speak my determination. And she talked to them for a while, told them more about her life and everything and how hard it was out in the street now. And she said, well, you know that I've been a hoe out in these streets. And the other hoe, her friend, she's sitting in the back, right? She just watching and listening, checking everything out. Well, I've been a hoe out in these streets, but the money ain't coming like it used to. But the money don't mean nothing to me no more. Because one night I'm laying in the arms of a soldier. And another night I'm laying in the arms of a stranger. Of a soldier or a sailor. I get them so mixed up. I just be laying in arms. But now that I've joined the church and I turned myself around, I'm going to be laying in the arms of Jesus. And her whole friend up in the back, listening to all this, say, yeah, honey, that's right. Fuck them all. Fuck them all.
Yeah, LaWanda, that was some funny shit. That's why I'm so glad when we work together.
Well, thank you, Red. And what about Della? What's she bring?
And what the hell that mean?
Well, we know you sing and you act a little, but do you do comedy, Della?
Whoa. Come on, LaWanda, that was uncalled for.
Just be wondering why this is the first time in 40 years we all work together. If Della ain't bringing comedy, what is she bringing that gets her on your project, Red?
Over 500 songs on the radio? How many you got? All my friends bring something different to the table, and it makes me a better man, LaWanda. I know you ain't still bitching about Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights? The movie? What about Harlem Nights? LaWanda, what's he talking about?
Red starts coughing uncontrollably and clutches his chest.
Oh, damn. My throat is throbbing. I need to catch my breath.
He bends over, shakes his arms and legs to loosen his now taut muscles.
You okay?
I've been having these chest aches for a while.
Ever since those federal bootjacks come down and stomped and robbed you in your own house.
Why you want to remind me? It's okay. I'm good. It's past.
He clutches his chest again.
Oh, I've never had pains like this before. This is the worst one I ever had. This is the big one. Hear that, Elizabeth? I'm coming to join you, honey.
Alarmed, the two women gathered to console him.
I should have known when you said Elizabeth. You was bullshitting, Red.
Just testing my two friends. I couldn't help it, Della. Just having a little fun.
A heart attack ain't nothing to joke about. And you better stop playing that boy who cried wolf shit. Red, a joke is a joke. But your swine eating, cigarette smoking, Grand Marnier drinking, no exercising, arthritic, lip dribbling, bug-eyed foolery ain't in no position to be playing that sick shit among your friends.
It's true. I ain't much younger than you, and I'm not in the best of physical condition. Now, please don't play with us like that.
I'm sorry. Don't worry, I might be eating the swine and guzzling the bug juice. But Elizabeth got a long wait before I come to visit her.
The next time the next time you fall out calling for Elizabeth, I'm just gonna let you lay there on the dirty floor. Scare me like that again, and I might stomp a mud hole in your ass for assurances like I used to do when you were in the 6th grade.
And I'd help. I'd be wearing my stiletto high heels.
Why would you want to do me like that?
Because we love you, Red.
If you love me, what do you do if you hated me?
Well, you don't want to know, sucker.
I guess I don't.
We got about an hour before we shoot the episode, and I don't think that producer will be on the set. Not the way you cussed him out.
I hope you're right. Maybe I should go to my dressing room for a quick nap.
Not too late.
Why?
You done worked up that captive audience out there. You can't leave them hanging. You got to give them a climax.
Oh, you men are good at creating a big premature ejaculation. Should have never gotten them worked up.
What? I haven't hit on you in many years, especially since you lost your brick house body. Didn't think I didn't fantasize about it back then. Friend or no friend. Friend.
The sexy and young, skimpy LaWanda's photo is highlighted on the screen.
Well, little bitty man, be glad it didn't happen. I would have put you in traction. I would have worked you like a Rubik's Cube, and you'd still be sending me checks every 2 weeks for life.
LaWanda, you a mess. Work them like a Rubik's Cube.
Damn, Skippy. Why you think I never been married? I'd wipe out all of mankind. I wasn't nicknamed the Bronze Goddess of Fire for nothing. Singe your fingers and what other fleshy parts you got. Hey!
I always avoided you St. Louis brick house hammer jammers like the plague. That's why I'm married to a nice, genteel Korean woman.
Sucker, I ain't never been the genteel kind.
LaWanda, that's what all your one night standers say. Oh, God, girls.
Red,
we done told you to stop playing Red.
Red, now stop testing us, man. You haven't figured us out in 40 years. You're dragging. Now, get your butt up from the floor.
He struggles up.
That was the test. I'm all right. I'm all right. I owe it to my fans.
He exits as lights fade.
Don't know if that's a good idea, Lawanda. He hasn't done a live show in a long time.
Honey, a comedian always has something, even if it's old shit.
Lights fade in green room and come up on the stage area. Scene 4, green room. A spotlight comes up on red center stage, holding the cigarettes in his hands.
I bet you've never seen this before.
He tries to flip it in his lips. After a few times, he succeeds.
Isn't that cool? Thank you, thank you. Now, let me tell you a joke that's older than most of your kids. Now, I want you to imagine that you're at one of America's most beautiful tracks, Santa Anita. Great racing day, sun shining hot, crowd 50,000. I was standing on the rail myself at the racetrack. I bet $5 on a horse that went to the post 20-1. Didn't get back home till 2:45. The racetrack officials called him a mutter. That's what I called him when he lost my money, you slow mutter. While I was out on the track, I saw this great race. 3 great horses and 3 great jockeys. The favorite horse was Cold Tower. Second choice was Pussy Willow. And the dark horse of the race, My Dick. Imagine Cold Tower, Pussy Willow, and My Dick led up out of the stalls to pick up on 3 of the greatest jockeys in the world. On Pussy Willow is jockey Akiro. On Cold Tower is jockey Anderson. And up on My Dick is jockey Strap. In a minute, this race will get started. The horses were ready. The jockeys were ready. Now they're leading the horses, and My Dick stirs up. Can't get right now. They're settling My Dick right now, and pretty soon the horse race will get started. Now all 3 horses are standing in the starting gate. The favorite Cold Tower, standing there like a damp clock, and Pussy Willow is nervous and twitchery. And My Dick looks very, very cool. Any minute we can get started. The horses are ready, the jockeys are ready. And in just a moment, folks, something is wrong. Something is wrong on the track. I think it's jockey Strap. He's bending way over. I think he must have a cramp. He must have ate before he got ready to ride. Jockey Strap just bent over My Dick and will have to get another jockey. Here comes another jockey. Number 38 in the jockey book is A Crab, will ride in place of jockey Strap. A Crab is up. That's Arthur Crab will take the place of George Strap. Now A Crab is up. Now A Crab is up on My Dick, looking very good. A Crab digs in for the start, and any moment we can start. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a few things I want you to know. The Crab family has produced some of the finest riders this country has ever seen. And I know if you got an ounce of sporting blood in you, you've seen A Crab or his brother ride before. They ride exclusively for the Blue Stables. The Blue Stables owned and operated by Miss Amelia Ointman. So make that correction, please. It's A Crab riding Scrap. Mark that down on your scratch sheet. And any minute now, the race will get started. The judge will shoot the gun, and there they go. They're off and running. And A Crab takes the lead around the first turn. It's Cold Tower by half a length. It's Cold Tower along the rail. Pussy Willow is running hard with My Dick in a dangerous position. Still anybody's race. It's Cold Tower. Pussy Willow and My Dick running hard on the inside. Oh, My Dick just slipped and fell. And there goes Cold Tower and Pussy Willow on the inside. Oh, My Dick just slipped and fell. And running neck and neck, and I think Pussy Willow has a slight edge. Pussy Willow. Pussy Willow is leading by a hair. Just a moment, folks. My dick has got up and running. My dick has got up, and now my dick has gotten back. My dick is running again. I never saw my dick run before. We're near the finish line. We're coming into the last 200 yards and around the far turn. It's Cold Tower. Pussy Willow and my dick is moving on real fast. And there we have it. The winner by half an inch is my dick.
As he chuckles, he starts to exit, then stops and turns to the audience.
No, your lips.
Exits as lights lower. Scene 5, the green room. Jazz lesson by Gil T plays for a few seconds. Della and Lawanda are still playing cards. The clamor of the audience's laughter is barely heard.
Fleecing in the sheep, fleecing in the sheep. We will come rejoicing, fleecing in the sheep, fleecing in the sheep, fleecing in the sheep. Can you believe Red is still telling that ancient joke about the racetrack?
I heard it back in the 1950s.
And they still laughing at it in 1991. Fleecing in the sheep, fleecing in the sheep. We will come rejoicing, fleecing in the sheep.
Stop it, Lawanda. It's bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep.
Really? I go to the wrong church and I got it mixed up. I'm so sorry, Reverend. It's quiet now. I guess Red is finished. Man needs some new material.
That's the first joke I heard from Red way back when I was a teenager at a barbecue party sipping on a glass of iced tea.
You sipping on an iced tea. I may be old, but I sure ain't stupid. At a colored folks' backyard barbecue.
That was prime Red. Who else could tell a raunchy, naughty, long-ass joke to everybody? And believe me, once you heard it, you might not have understood it, but you never forget it.
Yeah, Red's the man, all right.
Let's cut the bull, Lawanda. For some reason, you don't like me, and that's okay. I ain't trying to replace you in Red's life. We're just working here for the first time. What you bring to the show is totally different from what I do. What I am bringing to the table, what am I bringing to the table? You asked me in front of Red. I'm bringing my talented yellow ass to this set. It's big, so you can't miss it. I act, I sing, I know how to work these cameras so you can talk about comedy and fleecing all you want. I'm a mother, a minister of my own church. But if you want to go out back, we can do that too, Miss Lawanda Page.
Oh, pardon me. I ain't the one having the midlife crisis, Della. That's Red.
Red enters.
Red ain't having no midlife crisis, Lawanda. I'm already too old for a midlife anything.
Well, you look refreshed. Maybe it wasn't so bad to stroke this new audience, but you could have used some new jokes, Red.
The old man had to go to the well, honey. What you think, Della?
It was funny as hell, man. Just as I remembered as a young girl.
Well, you had to go to the old well a little, but you still got it, Red. Drinking and smoking on stage, telling blue jokes, lewd and filthy. Just like they like them. Mm-hmm. Dirty jokes supposed to be universally frowned upon, but that's what the crowd paid money for.
Bought me a new house and a lot of cars. I need to get a new tour set up so I can get the tax man off my back.
Oh, you must have paid a lot of it down by now, Red.
It ain't how it works. Compounded interest and continuous penalties. Once they get their hands in your pocket, the IRS be digging your drawers for gold nuggets forever.
Interest and penalties. Oh, and a couple of divorces thrown in between. Black man keep a target on his ass. Red's got the mark. Don't you, Red?
Lawanda, every time I see you, I wish birth control was retroactive.
Ain't that from the Sanford and Son show?
Why, you old bean-eating, beanie head, barrel-hugging monkey donkey.
I could dip your head in some dough and come out making some gorilla cookies.
I didn't insult you. I could have called you a pickle-headed evil heathen doing wrong, but I didn't. And I could have called you a frog-eyed fish-eating fool, but I didn't.
And I could have called you a flat-bottomed gorilla, but I didn't. So now I will, you flat-bottomed gorilla-looking ape.
What you watch out, sucker.
Yes, sir. In your case, I'm available for an exorcism. I could take you somewhere and beat the devil out of you.
All right, sucker.
I don't want to make you mad, because when you mad, your bottom lip looks like you're wearing a brown turtleneck sweater.
You old fish-eyed baboon.
Esther, I don't look as dead as you, and I felt like you and looked like you. I'd go down to Forest Lawn Cemetery and hang around for a while. But until then, I love you. Now give me a swag from your bottle of booze.
He clutches his chest and twists, the lights lower to highlight LaWanda.
That was the dozens done good and natural. We turned out to be better than Dean and Jerry Abbott and Costello. Red worked hard as I did at our craft. Back in those days, we had to find work where we could. We made $20 to $50 a night playing at those Chitlin circuit joints. Real cash versus rubber checks became his choice for life. And I guess that was a bad habit to acquire because one way he ran into trouble with salary checks. Even when he started making the big money, it was always cold cash, no checks.
We thought Red was playing his famous "I'm coming, Elizabeth" routine again. We all stood there laughing at him. We waited for him to laugh and get on up. But he didn't. He lay there, crumpled up like an old man.
The lights flash in Red's dying act.
Oh, girls, I'm dying.
Red! Red!
We done told you to stop playing.
Red? Now, Red, stop playing, man. Get your butt up from the floor.
Get up, Red. Get up.
Red balls up in a fetal position on the floor. Lights go out on him.
It's funny how folks really show how much they didn't know someone whenever a camera or a tape recorder is stuck in their face. Suddenly, all manner of slick cats and scheming chicks, promoters, other comedians, ex-wives and lady friends, whores and trolls, bill collectors, frenemies, enemies, critics, and writers testify about the great Red Foxx and who he was. I and LaWanda truly loved the man and knew him very well. We were hungry together. We were out of work together. We shared sandwiches together. He loved helping others. The public makes him out to be a nasty mouth, a mean person. He was the total opposite, a gentle, loving person. If you needed something, he would go into his pocket and give it to you. Lots of folks just don't know the kindness of man he was.
A spot comes up on LaWanda opposite stage.
My friend, John Elroy Sanford, better known as Red Foxx, was born December 9th, 1922 in St. Louis, Missouri. And since the 6th grade, when I stopped beating his ass and taking his lunch money, we've been the best of friends forever. That man was good to me. We had our own way to show love for one another in that it seemed harsh to others, but we knew how to jokingly play the dozens all the time. It was all an act. And I made a lot of money on all his television shows playing Aunt Esther. He threatened to quit his own Sanford and Sons show if they didn't hire me as Aunt Esther. We got famous and we made big money. We had history. But most of all, we had a natural rhythm and played well in front of the camera. And he never wanted me to thank him for getting jobs. He helped all his friends that way.
Scene 6, live show. Lights come up on a proscenium with a bar stool and table, liquor bottles, glass, and an ashtray.
He knew how to give his audiences a real unique experience. My funny-looking red-headed friend was destined to be great, one of a kind. He told dirty, nasty ass blue jokes.
When you heard grown-ups laughing so hard they were crying, you knew there was something special going. But it was his voice on that record. I was outside hanging with the other teens, trying to dodge the barbecue smoke, where I heard that gravelly voice coming from the room where all the adults were hanging out. They were laughing so hard that before I knew it, I had found a corner to squeeze in and almost busted my bra laughing so hard as he described the horse race. My jaws hurt, my stomach ached, and everybody in the room was rolling on the floor. Who would think youngsters understood Red's sexual innuendos? And I think he didn't give a damn if they did. He was a genius that hopefully the world won't only remember as simply the salvage guy from the movie Cotton Comes to Harlem.
Yeah, honey, his first film role.
Or Junkman Fred Sanford from Sanford and Son.
Hooray for Red, his first television show.
Or his role in Harlem Nights is
blind ass Benny.
Blind ass. You are truly a fool, LaWanda. Cass Smith said Benny Wilson, not blind ass.
Well, that's what Red told me. He played a blind ass old man.
Ooh, that tight ass dress made my ass look humongous. And Eddie's script gave me the filthiest words to say in all my public appearances.
Honey, it sounded totally natural to me. And when Red said, girl, come over here and shut the fuck up.
I said, I would tell you to kiss my ass too, but you probably can't find it, you blind motherfucker. I had to wash my own mouth out after that I did with Red.
No other Black woman comedian could have said that better than me. Ain't you from Detroit?
I admit my use of colorful language used to rival your dirty mouth, LaWanda, but only when I'm in front of the camera.
With a great Black cast of the world's best comedians, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Red Foxx, Arsenio Hall, all them dirty mouth funny Negroes. Should have been my role.
You still holding that stupid little role against me? That ain't no good, LaWanda. Red's made you more money doing other things.
I should have been cast.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Don't be blaming me. My own congregation knew it was difficult to play a dirty mouth madam in charge of the whores.
Well, I go to church too. And if somebody in the congregation ever tried to complain about my mouth, I just say, I'm a woman of God and fuck you if you don't believe it.
Red had recommended me for that role.
Well, what about me? I was his friend too. I didn't get offered no role in that movie.
Well, you should have asked Red. I already had a job, LaWanda.
Honey, ministers don't make no money, Miss Delarice.
Alberta.
Miss Delarice Patricia Early.
Miss Alberta Peel. Oh. We haven't had a proper name fight in years. That really bothered you?
Not for a long time.
Hell, you ain't got no right to begrudge that job. Over the years, he got you more gigs than me. So shut your damn mouth, bitch.
Hands her a bottle. They look at each other and then share a drink.
Got it, chick. For Red.
They sit in silence for a long time, passing the bottle back and forth.
Complete opposites exist to complement one another.
I'm the yin and you're the yang. She can only deal with one of us at a time.
We're working together on a show now.
And Red is dead.
We're not the cause of his demise.
No, silly woman, I blame the damn IRS.
Oh, the IRS. Red's dead. Let it go, LaWanda.
The truth is the truth, honey. Nothing but the truth.
In memory of the man.
Scene 7. Another spotlight comes up on Red, dressed in a blue suit with a red bow tie. He is pacing, sipping on a large golden beer mug. Lifts a salute towards Della.
This is my lifelong friends who've come to see my first show here in Las Vegas. The fabulous singer, Miss Della Reese.
Della steps forward and bows.
Come here to support me in my first Vegas show in front of mostly you white folks. Johnny Carson told me to be myself. Why be afraid of letting it loose just because my audience is white? I've sold over 5 million dirty party albums, but some jokes you can't tell on television. I thought they'd censor me if I tried telling my hot breath jokes, so I toned down the language a little bit. Made me cornier than Buffalo Bob on the Howdy Doody show. I learned some people's respect a comedian that's authentic. I passed that fact down to all my comedian friends, even Richard Pryor.
He lights a cigarette.
If you are offended, then fuck you. Did you ever sit on the toilet and throw up in the face bowl? Thought no one knew, did you? I've been drunker than that. I sat in the face bowl and threw up in the toilet. I came half an hour later to put water on my forehead, and I reached down in the face bowl and said, God damn, I don't remember eating that shit. I'm honest. Everybody here said shit. If you ever said shit before, if you never said shit before, meet me after the show and let me slam your hand in my car door. You will say shit, fuck, and nigga. Shit, nigga, what the fuck you doing? Those are normal reactions. Every grown man. I say fuck and shit only for one reason people do. If you never fuck, shit. If you never shit, fuck. I have a habit of talking about sex in my shows. Yes, sex. I know some of you are thinking about it, and the girl next to you is wondering if you're thinking about it too. Prudes here say intercourse, but if you're doing it right, you're fucking. Fuck is only dirty when you don't wash up. Tell the truth. You know your whole life you never heard a girl say, oh, intercourse me. Oh, intercourse me. No, they don't say that. Girls are clever. They know that if they say intercourse, your worm might fall. They tell it like it is. Fuck me. Oh, yeah. Hold it right there. Don't move, yeah. I don't like a whole lot of talking. Ask me a whole bunch of questions. Was it good? Oh, daddy, is it good? Shit, it's better than string beans. Thank you, folks. You've been gracious on my debut, but outside of the laughs, I hope you take with you. Always remember, I don't care how good you are, how good you think you are, you got to wash your ass. How did it roll, Della? No more blackface for us comedians for sure.
Great, Red. You played your gutter mouth self, and that Las Vegas audience loved you for it and paid you big. Now you know that you have to be Red Fox forever in order to make this big money Vegas gave you. Be yourself, honey. And remember, you gotta wash your ass, Red.
Scene 8, Green Room Present. Gradually piped in overhead is Della's most famous song, Don't You Know? A collage of photos with her and Red flash on the walls. After a few moments, Sam and Dave's soul tune, Hold On, I'm Coming, begins to play. LaWanda, obviously smashed, comes out dancing with a 5th bottle of Chivas Regal in one hand and a boombox in the other.
Don't you ever feel sad? Lean on me. at my command. Hey, don't have to worry, 'cause I'm here. I don't have to suffer, baby, 'cause I'm here.
You
Hold
know,
on.
it's too early for this.
I'm
Lawanda.
coming. Hold on. What?
Too early for this, Lawanda.
Oh, okay. You said so. Della, we got to work on a going home ceremony. And this ain't no private two-chick wake, okay? There's a joint down on South Slauson Avenue, Della. Let's go down. Let's go there and get tore down, stank bucket drunk, and work on a perfect eulogy.
You can't get no more toe down than you are now, honey.
With the spirit of Red hanging over me, I can try. I gotta testify about what a special man he was. You know how special he was, Del?
Well, of course I do, Lawanda.
Well, lately I've been wondering.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I'm just talking, just thinking. Girl, don't pay me no mind.
I've known him almost as long as you have. Been to all his weddings, been there when he needed nestling when he got divorced. I knew him as well as you did. We both were his sisters.
Forgive me, Del. My mind's all mixed up and all kinds of crazy questions floating around in there. With us being stuck up here in limbo in the studio like we in the Twilight Zone, I glanced at you and realized that we ain't got nothing in common but Red.
We don't need to be in common except helping Red's wife set up his funeral service. Like you said, yin and yang.
Well, now you're talking, Della, because Kaho Cho needs our help because Red didn't leave her a hole in a donut. He dead broke thanks to the IRS.
Oh, stop saying that, Lawanda. He wasn't paying his taxes. Simple as that. Love him dearly, but the IRS did not kill Red. Ask Sammy Davis Jr. or any of them other prominent black men. We need to stop defending our rich brothers and pay your damn taxes.
Okay, honey. So you believe high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, eating pork, overdrinking, snorting cocaine, old age, and disrespectful white producers did it? If that works for you, fine.
Poor Red. The producers don't waste no budget money on grieving colored folks.
And the actor slaves and production folks don't get paid to mourn him either. And you know what I say to that bullshit, Della?
What do you say to that, Lawanda?
Bullshit to the bullshit. Bullshit.
I couldn't have expressed it any better myself.
My buddy, my friend, my man Red.
Touche. Red's funeral has got to be something special.
And that's for sure. Red was bigger than life when he was alive.
Gotta be.
Lying in state at the altar, gonna be stretched out in a solid gold casket with platinum pallbearer handles suspended, surrounded by a display of white lilies in the middle of Las Vegas' fanciest black church.
Ooh, Red lying in state in a church? I'm not so sure about that. The church roof and walls might instantaneously combust. Maybe more like the rotunda of a Vegas casino, a few feet from a keno stand would be his choice.
Probably dressed in an expensive powder blue silk suit with a white ascot, diamond rings and bracelet, and a jewel-encrusted Rolex watch. And if the fire department allowed, he'd have a lighted cigarette in his lips and a Cavassier liquor bottle propped up on his chest. Oh, Lord.
Ooh, wouldn't that be a sight? Yes, but Vegas authorities won't allow to light a cigarette. But I think Red loved his full-length black chinchilla coat and matching hat more.
Vegas, no problem. We all know of their famous prurient style setters. Elvis and Liberace.
Oh, prurient. Miss LaWanda got some big words.
Don't let Aunt Esther's hat and pocketbook fool you, honey. But seriously, as kids, Red and I fantasized about elaborate Viking funerals all the time.
I doubt his Korean wife had a Viking funeral in mind for Red. Plus, the cost of a Viking send-off, that'll cost a fortune.
And why not? Red was bigger than life.
Well, that's no lie. Oh, what's money anyway?
Oh, that's right. It's something we ain't got. Did you know the associate producers aren't going to contribute a dime to his wife's plans? Della, I overheard them talking as if Red was already forgotten. In fact, they probably glad he ain't coming in the studio door no more. You know, them folks are scared of that Negro. He talked too rough for him.
Red was a kind-hearted pussycat. He just sounded rough, but he always made his producers money. Now, white folks just don't know how to read us black folks.
And that's a fact, honey, but too bad Red is dead and broke. I wish I could, but I can't contribute much either to any funeral.
Now, I own a church and just as poor as a church mouse. So I'll be there to honor him in spirit, body, and soul. And that's all I got. But he was loved and respected by too many famous rich folks.
Now, you and I are just two old chicks from St. Louis. But I've known a few ministers whose belief in miracles kind of falls short in real life.
That's life, LaWanda. Red was a very special human.
They take a long reflection of silence. LaWanda breaks out.
But the Bible's full of miracles. But what if all of this is just a big Red Fox joke?
Joke?
The doctor said, the newspaper said, the wife said that Red Fox is no longer with us. What if what we have seen Red do 1,000,000 times is happening 1,000,001 this time?
Damn, Elizabeth. LaWanda, he was a master jokester, but this time the man is D-E-A-D.
And I'll never have a conversation with my childhood friend again. Red's dead.
That's what I said.
And even without help from many white folks, his fans gonna send him to the great beyond in glory in style. Praise the Lord. Yeah. And how are we gonna do this with no money?
Trust in the Lord, but mostly trust in the favor and grace of Red's friends.
Easy peasy. Everybody owes the man.
Now, all you got to do is go around and ask for donations, and Red's Viking funeral is set.
Well, we'll see, ministers. Negroes always broke when they see you coming. Hope I won't have to run home empty-handed when they smile in my face, Della.
Ye of such little faith, LaWanda, such little faith.
The lights begin to lower. Scene 9, green room a few days later. LaWanda and Della sit at the table looking at the results of their funeral search. They are obviously frustrated.
I told you, Della. All these stars he's helped be claiming poverty and can't contribute any money.
I don't understand this myself. The 2 days and we don't have any donations.
Well, what did you give?
You know I live paycheck to paycheck, and I don't see your name in this list either.
This is not good for his great memory.
We got to get some cash soon.
Well, maybe your heart ain't really in it, Della.
Give it a rest, baby. Can we at least have a few days of not being on top of each other's nerves? LaWanda, I swear that as soon as we get him in the ground, you go your way and I'll go mine, and never the two shall meet again. We still haven't gotten to Richard Pryor, Pat Morita, or Eddie Murphy.
Lights come up on Red with a cigarette in mouth, sitting in an armchair holding a writing tablet. LaWanda crosses behind him. Lights highlight Red and LaWanda.
Della, do you remember this conversation? Hey, Red, what you doing?
Thinking of some new jokes for my next tour.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
But the IRS is killing me.
Should have been making payments on his tax bill.
Them pirates done took everything you got, and you still working gigs to pay them more. Just like slavery times.
LaWanda girl, you ain't never told no truer truth. Get grave thieving thugs. Sad thing is that the pay ain't near what it was when I did Sanford and Son.
Why are you showing me this, LaWanda?
You know we definitely need another television show, Red. I can't play Aunt Esther no more, except on one of your shows.
Aunt Esther paid well, huh? Right? Remember, I take care of my friends. Nobody starves or gets evicted from their place as long as I have money in my pocket or a show on TV.
I never starved or slept a night in the streets when I called on him for cash or for a job.
I'm broke because I give to my friends, all my friends. But believe me, the IRS ain't no friend of mine. No fucking way.
Well, don't start up again, Red. You can't let them drive you to a breakdown or a heart attack.
I chase pretty women and howl in the moonlight, but I ain't got death on my mind just yet.
And while you breathing, you get a chance to make more dollars, so don't sweat it, man. At least you got your gravelly voice and that nappy red hair and nasty-ass disposition.
But like the great philosopher Pigmeat Markham used to say, Red, put the lotion on your face, because if you die broke, at least you won't die ugly and ashy.
Let's not talk about death, okay?
I'm not talking about death.
Once he pays what he owes, they're sure to give him the house and cars back, right?
You ever seen how they determine penalties and interest? Ask Sammy Davis Jr. Once they charge you, they own you, forever. 1 million turns to 1.5 in less than a year, and so on and so on. I need bigger paychecks.
And me too, Red.
On the bright side, I'm talking with Eddie Murphy on a new project coming up in 1991.
Cash money, honey. What's it about? Do I get to play a cultured woman this time? You know I can do sophistication, too.
LaWanda does an abbreviated comical proper lady walk.
Shake it, Little Egypt.
Della and Red begin humming the song Little Egypt by the Coasters. In good fun, LaWanda does a robotic dance to the tune.
Okay, y'all made me feel so much better. But I got to work on my new jokes.
The rest of 1990 was supposed to be great for him.
Bet you don't remember that conversation, Della?
Wasn't my business.
Right here on the set. Again, I must have been invisible to the great Della Reese.
Probably studying the script.
Lights lower as LaWanda crosses back to the green room.
Della, it's a damn shame how the powers that be here are shitting all over Red's memorial. Instead of allowing the cast to mourn for him, all they doing is thinking about how making money.
And I'm sick of it. They're trying to replace him before we even put him in the damn ground.
Honey, Hollywood money don't miss a step. They can't replace him like an old toilet seat.
He wasn't dead then, but when Red grew tired and gave up his hit show, Sanford and Son, they simply replaced him with another old crusty black man, Whitman Mayo.
Yeah, Grady Wilson, just like that. The show must go on, and damn it, it does.
Isn't that what Hollywood sees as a bankable black man?
The women go silent.
You can't simply replace a legend.
Really, according to them, anyone can do comedy for television.
Imagine Jackie Mason or Rodney Dangerfield playing Fred Sanford, for Christ's sakes.
Indeed.
But they aren't black.
Hello, but they'll try.
Red was more than a comic. He was a generous survivor.
Better yet, he was a hungry entertainer.
I remember his last live show at the Hacienda Casino in Las Vegas just last year.
The lights lower on the women. Scene 10, Hacienda Resort and Casino Hotel, Las Vegas, 1990. Real Pretty Mama begins playing.
Real pretty mama, please come on in my door. Real pretty mama, please come on in my door. Tell my other girlfriends I don't want them no more. Hey, listen, honey, I know we can't agree. Everything you got is really meant for me. Bet you didn't know Red could sing and rock 'em in his younger days.
He drinks from his nipple novelty tit cup.
A tasty little snack before the clammy entree works to keep an old man going. The sweet nectar of life. Y'all think I'm too old to be acting like this. I may have fantasy expectations, maybe. But if you're ugly, I have no fantasy at all. This is probably my last show to do live comedy before I start doing my new television show. So Red might be a little off. I detest war, all that shooting and digging in the ground, hiding behind trees and shit. That ain't for me. No more war for Zorro. I hate violence, all that shooting. I was wounded in World War II in Newark, New Jersey. Great audience. Your laughter always brings an urgency to my soul. Even old comic matadors like me can have doubts if all they got in life is bills and dust in their pockets. And because I appreciate my audiences, here are some words of advice spoken from someone who knows. Eliminate all the expert lessons that people have been pumping into you all these years. You got to learn how to wash your ass.
The lights go down on Red. Scene 11, present time, 1991. Lights quickly come up as LaWanda enters.
Della! I got some news.
Oh, we need some good news.
Well, we got the money to bury Red in the grand manner of the way he should be buried.
We did? That's the answer to our prayers, LaWanda. But I can say I'm not surprised.
Well, I'm proud of myself because I did it. They must have thought I was Ann Esther, picking up the uncollected markers from the many folks that owed him.
He never asked them to pay him back.
Shit, they were glad to pay me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the kind-hearted Red.
Oh, hell, that dude from the Karate Kid, the old man, Pat Morita. Now, he wanted to contribute. Now, I didn't even know that.
Well, Red was his mentor. Once he wrote a $3,000 check so Pat and his pregnant wife could buy their first house in the valley. Said, don't pay him back. Just do another friend a favor when they needed it. That would have killed me. No wonder he ain't had no money.
I knew about his crazy philanthropy. People took advantage, but I didn't know about Pat.
Bet you didn't know about all those Negroes who were stealing from his nightclub. He knew, but said they must have really needed the cash if they were willing to steal from him.
Damn fools. All they had to do was ask. Good for Eddie. You're supposed to be taking care of your elder.
Well, Eddie is covering all the rest to send Red to the great almighty.
Well, bless him. He is the executive producer of our show.
Well, Red made him money, and if he had only known how his producers were giving his star palpitations, maybe he could have jumped in and calmed Red down, and he might still be here.
I'm impressed, LaWanda.
With what?
How aware you were of our friend. Red was a master comedian that they all styled themselves after. all our comic legends, and Eddie himself loved working with the king.
Except me.
Please, LaWanda, this ain't the damn time now. Harlem Nights, Harlem goddamn Nights.
If I'd only had the opportunity.
Ever since he died, you've been trying to get me to either kick your ass out back or defend why you didn't get a role in that damn movie.
No, I haven't. Eddie and Red picked their crew. It just bothers me that they picked you instead of me.
It shouldn't. I played Vera. Could you play her?
Well, no, but there were other parts.
There wasn't a part in the movie that you could have played, honey. Nothing. He'd give you the world if he could. Shit, even Blind Man Benny could see there wasn't a part for your particular skills, baby.
Sam, you right. Want another swig?
Sure. I'd prefer sharing a cigarette and some booze instead of taking you out back and finding out who's the toughest chick.
Like my daddy used to say, life's a bitch and her twin sister death ain't much better.
We all gonna die one day. And the world will find out what killed Red, and I'll always believe it's the typical bad habits of a black man that brought Red to his demise.
And I'll always say it was the bounty hunters, reaching into a well-to-do black man's pants pocket to rip the main artery to his heart.
Into his pocket to rip out his artery.
You too conservative, Minister, but a heart attack wasn't the only thing that killed Red. LaWanda. He deserves to be honored with more than just a bunch of narrow, insincere testimonies. Sure, you're right.
He could be extremely ornery, complicated, with huge mood swings that could chase away even his closest friends.
I'd cuss his ass from here to St. Louis and back. Stand back, sucker. Yo, bug-eyed fool.
A side-eyed, steely stare, a gruff voice between pursed lips. Listen, you old black beanie-headed fool, shut the fuck up and kiss my soul and
show you right.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing that so many articles and television shows are keeping Red Fox's life and his importance to American comedy and humanity alive.
Yeah, but for how long? I hope they expose the true reason for Red ending up dying on the studio floor of his television show.
Now, what's truth to them isn't always the truth, is it?
The bane of many a successful black man. Racism and the bloodsuckers that some black men can't keep out their pockets.
LaWanda, that happened in 1989, almost 2 years ago.
Della, how long does cancer take to eat your inside out? Sure, Red was
a perfect candidate for a heart attack at his age. Like us, over 60, and we smoke, we drink, and we love our pork too much.
Slow, steady, premature death sentence for black folks, right? Ask Chuck Berry. Ask Richard Pryor. But Red, like Sammy Davis Jr., life was shortened.
Okay. I file my taxes, LaWanda. Do them myself. And just because Red didn't do it, it's his fault. He wasn't Al Capone, for God's sakes.
Well, he wasn't a gangster, and sure, he never filed his taxes. Finally, they ground him down and whooped all the pride out of him on national television. You do recall that. Oh, right. Too busy with your script then to watch TV.
Lights lower on the women. Scene 12, IRS raid, November 28, 1989, Red's Las Vegas home. All right, it's just about star time. We want to sit back, relax, and get ready for a thrill. Let's get our hands together and welcome to the stage the one and only Red Foxx. Red enters the kitchen as the light slowly glows the curtains on the window. He is wearing a velvet house robe over casual clothes and slippers. He has on a large gold necklace, a fancy watch, lots of rings, and has a cup of coffee in his hand. He yawns, stretches, and scratches his balls and ass.
Sunday, November the 28th, was like any other Las Vegas day. The weather was nice and sunny in the low 70s, and best of all, when I looked out into the yard, there was no damn snow to shovel through. I've had a few hours of sleep after getting in from gambling all night. Can you believe that I had to make my own coffee and toast even though my new wife was in the bed? Can you believe that? Only job she had was taking care of the old man that brought in the bacon, which it seems I'm forced to cook as well. Whatever happened to that Asian cultural submissiveness to her big daddy, her love, her lord and master, in the bed up under the covers with a damn black mask covering her face? I could have gotten the same treatment if I'd have married a soul sister. At least when I got cussed out, I'd understand the words. Well, despite having to go into my usual self-survival Sunday mode, I felt pretty good for an old man with a young wife and money stuffed in my walls and mattresses. The only thing I had to do that day was go out and feed my dogs and then come back inside and crawl up under the covers and attack the old lady before it was time to go back to the casino. Kimchi in the morning, kimchi in the evening, kimchi all the time. Sunday in warm-ass Las Vegas, quiet, serene, and satisfying. St. Louis, New York, and LA, be damned. Then in living color, all hell broke out. My pack of dogs started barking like crazy. Usually they were some of the best fed, most laid-back dogs in all Vegas, just like the owner. What the hell was wrong with them?
Video of the arrival of trucks show.
I looked out the kitchen window and I saw a line of black vehicles pulling up into my big driveway. What the hell? I tried not to panic, but the black cars were followed by 3 big trucks. What the hell? Everybody knew Red Fox lived here, and Red got lots of nice, expensive shit in his house. Everybody knows that. Was this a gangster home invasion? The dogs were in a frenzy and throwing their bodies into the fence in their kennel. What the hell? I started to panic in my kitchen. I could hear many car doors open. Where's my phone? Where do I get my gun? Get my wife? Oh, hell, oh, no time. I was suffering a home invasion, and they were going to rob me of my shit and then kill me. They're going to...
The doorbell rings.
The invaders suddenly rang the doorbell, and I stopped breathing. Wait, the mafia never rings the bell. On shaking knees, I crossed to the front door just as the bell rang again. Even the dogs stopped their wild bark. I peeked through the window as I thought they were coming to kill us. Before I really panicked, I saw this sexy chick from the evening news breaking her damn neck to get out the van with her station logo on it. What the shit? Don't tell me that chick came to do an interview with me on a damn Sunday before the crows woke up. What the hell? I wasn't dressed for no company. The knock persisted, and pissed, I opened up to a group of white men, all dressed in cheap black suits and all wearing dark sunglasses. One said, as he smiled a pleasant smile, "Are you Mr. John, without the H, Elroy Sanford, a.k.a. Red Fox?" I said, "Yes, that is I." Of course, he chuckled and said in a pleasant voice, "Bet you didn't know we knew the true spelling of your name. Very unusual, but when you opened the door, I knew exactly who you were. The government keeps excellent records when it comes to collections. Wow, the great Red Fox." He chuckled and made a left turn to seriousness and said, "I'm a huge fan of your comedy, but I am here as a representative of the United States Internal Revenue Service." My hearing went mute for a moment as I realized what was happening. His mouth went into slow motion, but I understood every word of horror he was saying. The chick with the microphone jumped in my face, saying shit that sounded like it came from the Temple of Babel. Mr. Foxx, would you, those invaders had discombobulated the hell out of me. I had to keep my composure. I only saw how messed up my expression was later when the reporter played back the interview later on television. The microphone was punching me all under the chin. Mr. Foxx, what? I mumbled. You owe over $1 million to the IRS, and we are here to collect. We are here to take everything. Everything, I mumbled. What is everything? He said, first, we'll start with the damn diamond chain around your neck. Would you mind giving it to me? I slept in this necklace. Oh, and I'll take all the rings on your fingers, extremely expensive pieces. If you were to buy this in a jewelry store, it would cost more than, say, a diamond bezel Rolex. Oh, that's a gorgeous diamond bracelet on your right wrist. Can I turn out your pockets? They took it and made me feel naked. Oh shit, don't even think that naked shit, because they might demand I pull down my drawers, bend over and spread my cheeks so that they can look for other assets in contraband. I wanted to cry as they barged around my house. All the time my wife was crying as we sat outside and watched the parade of workers packing our shit and putting it in moving vans. I was so upset that the only thing moving was my eyes on the inventory sheet that my admirer wrote down. I knew the value of things, of each item. Elvis had given me the watch. How many shows did it take to buy this or that material thing? My mind was like a calculator. They took everything. I mean, everything. When they finished emptying my house, they were nice enough to at least leave a single bed. They took all expensive dishes and silverware, appliances, chairs, clocks, pictures, cabinets, couches, chandeliers, lamps, television, and stereos. Just when I thought they had cleaned the house of all valuables, they headed for my garage. My wife couldn't understand how they could do this to me like they were doing. I was a famous American comedian, wasn't I? I didn't say it, but I knew this is the way they treat a black man. Why come and take my home and take my surroundings and my memorabilia, stuff that I'd gathered for years? Ain't that a bitch? The shit represented my 40 years in the business, and they just came and bogarted me. Oh, and when the banks opened that next day, they hit my safe deposit box for $100,000 of more jewelry. They rolled out my 7 cars, put them up on trailers. I had a antique Model T, Ford, and a Zimmer Golden Spirit that cost over $175,000. Mr. Foxx, you've been a real gentleman, and the IRS wants to thank you for your cooperation. I must go, but I'm your biggest fan. My wife loves you so much. It would mean so much to me if you'd sign an autograph for my wife. He stuck out his hand, and I looked at it like it was the head of a cobra. Then they left my home. It looked like a damn crack house. Ripped my insides out and made me feel like a life failure. From a dirt poor young man to a dirt poor old man. Is this what 40 years of struggling to be a success, getting robbed by chilling club promoters with bouncing ass rubber checks, or getting a measly $20 a show, to working my way up to major venues, making big money, taking care of my friends was all about? Every year I paid hundreds to my accountant to prepare the forms. And every year my heart just couldn't let me make it from his office to a mailbox. It might sound stupid, but to me, it was a matter of principle. Why should I give my hard-earned cash to a demand every year? I help my friends who asked but still didn't demand. I did my interview for the news, folks on my yard trying to appear cool and collective. They cleaned me out, but I was still America's premier funny black comedian. Didn't that count for something? I thought it might take a while, but I'd get more cash because I was not going to be poor and broke ever again. No, not me.
Lights lower. Scene 13, Red's funeral, 1991. The lights come up, muted in amber. A lovely funeral hymn plays over. Upstage right, a coffin is either projected on a wall or curtain. Various photos of Red's obituary, him in his coffin. His coffin on display is highlighted high on the back and sides of the stage area. LaWanda and Della hold a single long stem white tulip and are dressed in black with a large floppy hat with a net that hangs over their faces.
This is a beautiful send-off for Red. All the famous stars have turned up in fellowship to our dear departed brother. It's wonderful.
I know. Yes, it's wonderful and beautiful. Oh, Red, you left us too soon.
Do you need some time to get yourself together for the eulogy, LaWanda?
I'm okay, Della. I'm okay. I'm okay. Okay, LaWanda. Get your shit together. Greetings, friends and family. Greetings, friends and family of a man the world came to know as Red Foxx. A man we all loved. My friend since childhood, the funniest man alive. The man with the big heart, the man lying in that beautiful cast. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Her knee wailing out of control. Della comes over, but is waved away. After a long pause, Della signals to start her part of the program. A piano begins to play, How Great Thou Art. The honored Reverend Dr. Della Reese, founder of the Understanding Principles for Better Living Church, will sing How Great Thou Art.
Oh, Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, the power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Yes, Miss Della Reese, you're a great actor, a great singer, and a powerful preacher and Red and I's friend. Red would be beaming with pride if he weren't in that coffin there. Now, I'm a strong-minded, no-nonsense kind of woman, been that way all my life. Just be LaWanda Page, honey. Red's friends and professional acquaintances have gathered here to honor him. But look at all these sad faces. Come on, y'all. We're not here to mourn Red, we're here to celebrate him. All these fine dressed women crying and dripping mascara on their expensive dresses. Red definitely would not want that. If he had this audience with all these long faces, he's walked out of here pissed off. I've been friends with Red Foxx since we were in the 6th grade. We were only platonic friends, thank you. Though the army of men beating down my dressing room doors be looking for the dark chocolate factory, because I wasn't called the bronze goddess of fire for nothing. I've seen Red rise from dust in your pocket poverty to throw money around prosperity. In his lifetimes, he made millions of dollars and spent most of it too. But aren't we supposed to enjoy the fruits of our labor while we breathing? We all know the story, don't we? I want to thank Mr. Eddie Murphy for making this fine occasion a fabulous send-off for his idol and mentor. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you so much. But there's more than one way to kill a black man. Somebody else killed Red. Delinquent taxes go from $700,000 to $3 million in 2 years. The local loan shark don't cost them kind of points. Ate his insides out like a cancer. You come from desperate times. When you get to the place where you can have your champagne and caviar, they smack you down to the pits of where you climbed out of. Y'all, I apologize. This ain't LaWanda's bitching party. The docs say Red died from a heart attack. I only knew him for 40 years. Ooh, look what I found. A flask. A toast to the host. My buddy Red Foxx. You a hell of a comic, man, friend, and humanitarian. Red was imperfect, as we all are, but putting aside all the negative things the media and folks have dug up and spread out now that he's dead, the one thing that is true is that Red deserves respect for all he's achieved in his life. Never let his memory fade. To Red with love. And anybody who wants to know more about this complicated guy, do your due diligence. Read up on him. You'll be surprised. Now, let's get together in the hall, eat, drink, laugh, dance, and share our memories of the Red that we knew. I'll be out in a moment.
Join us in fellowship and let's party like we're trying to wake up the dead.
Wanda grabs Stella by the arm.
Hey, Sis Della, before we join all these prominent folks, can I apologize to you first?
Apologize for what?
For seeming like I got a bone to pick with you.
You bristled just a little bit, but I understood.
I just wanted to see if you thought I was going way out of bounds with the IRS killing Red stuff.
Everybody has their own beliefs and
then that's exactly why I told you the story Red told me about the raid. Like it or not, as long as we're alive, they'll be coming to us to dig up trash to write on Red. And that's a big old pile. But everyone will key on not what killed him, but why he didn't pay his taxes. They'll say he was a typical black man spending money like crazy with no tax responsibility to the public welfare. Shit, his welfare responsibility was to his friends. So he died broke as a church mouse, not only because of back taxes. I apologize to you.
It's going to take some effort for me because I'm very conservative, but I appreciate you sharing those stories about him. But I will never let anyone get negative stuff from me.
Come over my house later and we'll talk. But now's the time to mingle with his admirers.
Lights slowly fade. Epilogue. In the darkness to an empty stage, a rapid montage of pictures of Red flash on walls, making a montage of light and images. Red enters in a sharp black suit and takes a stance.
Ooh, well, LaWanda, it's been a while since they put Red in the ground and the public is still talking about him.
Girl, I know. Like I said, I'm getting 4 or 5 requests every day for interviews, wanting my story about life with Red. What about you?
Me too. Ooh, can be irritating sometimes. I have to concentrate on growing my ministry.
And I'm getting television roles now. Praise the Lord for this old lady.
developing a program for me.
Oh, really?
Touch by an Angel, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah. But don't forget, I need a job too.
Oh, girl, you know I got you.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Lights come up as they exit, and then a stage light unread.
Hey, how about a little religion tonight? Catholics hate me because I say they're clever, taking those birth control pills for headaches. Somebody's going to hell and it's going to be crowded. And if you ain't got no reservation, you might have to stand up. How about Confucius? Confucius say, woman who puts husband in doghouse may find him in a cat house. Confucius say, blonde girl that have black hair by cracky. Confucius say, pennies not the best thing on earth, but next to it. Confucius say, wife who slide down banister makes monkey shine. Confucius say, elevators smell different to a midget. And now it's time to close the show. You all have been very considerate and a gracious audience. One of the greatest audiences I have ever entertained. And I hope that's what I've accomplished, entertain. I hope you enjoyed my dirty humor, and if you didn't, there's the door, and you ain't getting your money back. But before I run out of here, let me give you one more treat, whether you want it or not.
The Ink Spot's famous song begins to play, If I Didn't Care.
If I used to dance and sing for a living before I discovered that, I could make a whole lot more money telling nasty than being a song and dance man. If I didn't care more than words can say, if I didn't care, would I feel this way? If this isn't love, then why do I thrill? And what makes my head go round and round while my heart stands still? Circumstances can be a mean mother. Good night. And oh, remember my motto. I don't care how good you are, how good you think you are, you got to wash your ass.
All lights out. End of play.
I thought our love was strong. I don't know what went wrong. I felt we had a chance. Our love seemed like a dance. A sweet
Thanks so much for joining us today for Red XXX featuring O.J. Nelson, LisaRoxanne Walters, and Michelle Baldwin. Written by Jamal Williams and directed by Susan Waters Turner. Thank you so much for being here. We are now going to go to our moderated critique session. Please stay and provide us with any feedback, constructive feedback. You can use the mic feature at the bottom of your toolbar, and you can also put your comments in the chat in the Q&A. So we appreciate you offering your constructive feedback. We appreciate you being here today. I'm going to call Jamal and Susan to the stage. Here we go. Hello, Jamal.
I'm here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I want to apologize for acting because I'm not an actor, but I did the best we could. We were having problems. I did the best I could.
You did good. I have a question. So
Yeah.
you are not an actor and a wonderful, fabulous playwright. How did it feel, or did you like reading the script out loud? Because obviously you read it when you're, but this is your first time ever reading it out loud as the character. Did you find any new things or do discoveries about the play or the character?
Well, I mean, I found that it's hard to be an actor. Now, I appreciate acting a lot more after doing it. So, I mean, I get that. But I'm so familiar with this play. I've been with this play for so long. I'm pretty familiar with it. It kind of worked for me. I liked it. I mean, I'm sure there's some things in there I need to look at again, but I have to usually do that alone in a room somewhere. But yeah, I appreciate the way it went. Especially my actors are great. It's a good thing I had the two, OJ and LisaRoxanne. Couldn't have pulled this off without them. They're excellent.
Thank you. Do you want to read some comments from the chat? We have, let's see, someone says, I didn't know you could sing. So congratulations to the singers. And let's see, we have someone that says, I loved it. And it was so nice to hear Jamal and LisaRoxanne sing. I do want to correct our director's name, Susan Watson Turner. Thank you so much. Bravo, ladies. So please feel free to put comments in the chat. You can also use the raise your hand function and get on the mic. It's at the bottom of your screen under the reactions button. We have some more bravos. Loved it. We have, let's see, Nathania. Bravo. Thanks, girls. Beautiful. Akeem Aaron says beautiful. Topaz Hogue, I really enjoyed the dialogue. Very informative as well as funny. Great job. And Miss Lisa McCree, great job, Jamal.
Thank you.
And let's see, Bridget Waits, I believe. Great play, Jamal.
Thank you.
Lisa McCree also said, great acting. I love the government coming to his house because I could visualize it. But if you feel comfortable going on the mic, please don't hesitate. Playwrights would love to have direct feedback, constructive feedback. So the raise your hand function is with the reactions key, and you can go on the mic. Let's see, we have someone that wants to go on the mic. Akeem Aaron, go ahead, please.
Yeah, good night, good night, good night. You can hear me?
We hear you. Yes, go ahead.
So, I was listening to the whole play and I felt like I was there. And it's the crazy part about it for me personally. I grew up on Fox, but at the same time it's like I I've been away from TV for a long time as well. So like I forgot about him. But I know him. Like I know him. And it's like when I was listening to the play, it brought me back and it's like I felt like I was going through the journey of his experience. And it's like the part of like the story that has been written, like I never knew that. And like the whole conversation of you know the segregation of it as well as the struggle that he go through to kind of make it like become successful, and how he kind of you know kept his sanity at the same time um demonstrating his brilliance. Yeah, like I love all of that. And yeah, it just ties it into and give me like a great sense of like who he was as a person and his legacy. And he was doing comedy with like a gentle heart type thing. So yeah, I love to say that it was beautiful. It's beautifully written. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I also want to acknowledge Laura Bowman. She says, congratulations, Jamal. Love the way it all came together. Hugs, Laura. Thank you so much, Akeem, for your comments on the mic. We have another. Let's see, Sabura Rashid.
Sabura.
Black History Without.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
can
hear
hear you.
you.
Go ahead.
Hey, Jamal.
Hey, Sabora.
Another wonderful play. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I missed the beginning, but I heard the end, and I love how you wrote LaWanda Page and Della Reese. And are you gonna do a full production? I love it, and it was so nice to hear you performing in your own words and
And you know
singing.
I'm not an actor. Don't forget
Uh,
that.
You did pretty good. You did pretty good. You get a you get an applause.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So
Thank
will
Yeah,
you.
you are you gonna have another production?
well, that's our goal. The goal is to have the two ladies doing it with a guy
Uh
named
huh.
Gail Tucker, and it's only a small
Ah.
play. Then we have it
Mhm.
produced, hopefully.
Mhm. Well,
We had an actor.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We had an actor that was supposed to be playing Red today. He's the guy that I originally wrote the piece for years ago, and
Uh huh.
for some reason he couldn't come on, so
Mhm.
that's how I got drafted into doing the reading. Otherwise, I would have just been listening like everybody else. But his name is Hansford Prince, so he's the only one that couldn't get in. So I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. But how was it? How one more question? How was it for you to read your own work in a formal reading?
Well, I mean, I didn't want to. I mean, if I can avoid acting anytime, I'm going to avoid it. But then again, it's a small cast, and I have two great actresses, so
Mhm.
they held me up. I mean, I can't do any worse than I can't mess them up. So,
But
I think I did okay.
did you get anything p- different for yourself as the
Yeah,
writer by
kind
being?
of, but I've been working with this play and mostly this cast for a long time. So there's not a lot, but I'm seeing some points that I need to go back and look at, but not much, I don't think.
Mhm.
That's just me.
Well, bravo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the commenters. Excuse us. Want to read another comment from Carmencita Poe? Nice tribute. Jamal, thank you
Wow.
for inviting me. The dialogue was believable. What
Yeah.
is the meaning behind the title? Because the play sounded more like a love letter from LaWanda and Della.
Is that from the same person,
That's from the same
Carmen?
person, yes.
She asked what the reason is.
What is the meaning behind the title?
Oh,
Because the
the meaning.
play.
Oh, I don't know about the meaning behind the title. But the title was just something that came to my head, and that's usually how my titles come. But the reason why LaWanda Page and Del Reese are so important is that they were his friends. He'd known them for 40 years. 40 years. They came up in St. Louis when they were young, and one was a singing star and one was a comedian. So that's why it was they, and it was kind of um, fortunate that when he died, they were there in the green room with him. So I mean, it made it appropriate. So that's why they're in the play.
Great. And then we have another comment from Akeem who says the reading was brilliant and the dialogue is funny.
Good. Thank you.
And let's see, Francine BW says, great script, Jamal, as well as a great reading. I'm so glad to hear the script in its entirety, and I can't wait to see this as a fully performed piece. Good job,
Good. Me too.
OJ and LisaRoxanne.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your constructive feedback. We really appreciate it.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm just wondering, because I hadn't heard from LisaRoxanne Nar from OJ. What did they think? I mean, they got those characters down pat, I think. So what did they think about the reading, and what did they think about, how they read it today?
I I loved it. I think every time we do it, OJ and I, we develop more chemistry between us. I'm ready to, and I'll just, in full disclosure, I'm ready to not be on a device looking at these little boxes. I'm ready to get it on its feet on the boards and kind of live it a little more. So I think that's where I would like to see what the additional nuances will be when with the benefit of in person and all the things of an actual live performance.
I have to agree with LisaRoxanne because we've developed a type of chemistry. I love the wig, by the way, girlfriend. I like that. Like the touch.
Listen, side note, I'm actually doing something for Sabora in about 40 minutes at Theater for the New City. And luckily, Jamal and Sabora both got me playing older women. So I was like, great. I don't have much costume change.
But, I agree with LisaRoxanne. I'd like to explore the chemistry because it's going to be different when we're face to face because we've never physically met.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's going to be a whole nother energy.
Yeah.
When we're in the same room at the same time. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on it, for sure. That's the next level anyway. We got to get it in the studio, get it on production, and have it done. That's the next thing. So hopefully maybe somebody here has got a little space so we can do it in, and they can get in touch with us because it's ready to go. I think it's ready to go.
He's dry begging.
What was that?
We call that dry. We call that dry begging.
Okay, that's a new one for me. I like it.
I don't know that either. It works.
A closed mouth does not get fed, so you might as well ask.
That is true.
Just want to read a couple more comments. We have thanks for the invite from Karen Mobley. Great job, all.
Hey,
I have
Karen.
missed it. But where is Red buried, or was he cremated?
He was buried, I believe. I don't think he was cremated. I think he was buried in Las Vegas.
And we have Alicia Foxworth wants to come on the mic. Come on up, Alicia.
Hi, I was curious if you were so inclined to ever add a man to the conversation, which of Red's associates would you add?
Oh, you need somebody close to him?
It doesn't matter what the affiliation would be. It would be obviously up to you, but if you felt like there needed to be a male added to the conversation, who amongst the people that knew him or knew of him, worked with him, were friends, whatever the circumstance, who would you deem appropriate to add to this kind of conversation? Eddie Murphy. Okay.
He's probably one of the only ones alive anyway. All his, Red's old friends have kind of moved on. They've gone and met their ancestors, so it would have to be Eddie.
Okay, thank you. Congrats on the reading, everybody. It was one done.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you, Lisa.
I saw Susan
Right, I was trying
on camera. Susan, did you want to make a comment?
Yeah, I did want to make a comment. I didn't mean to come on camera, but I wanted to say congratulations, Jamal, and especially stepping up at the last minute to read the character. But it was really, I kind of joined the gentleman who said he grew up on Red Fox, but he didn't really know him. And of course, I grew up on watching the relationship between him and LaWanda Page, and who knew that they had such an affection for each other. you know, you watch the show and he's always talking about Yabna's, you know, hit you in the face and and you blue-eyed devil, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I thought, especially for her character, she had a true affection for him. And they were true friends. And that really comes through in the script. And I really enjoyed that part of it. And as well, of course, the monologue at the end when the IRS comes in. We all kind of know that story, but to hear him tell it about his memorabilia and the watch that Elvis gave him and those things that are so important to a person that probably didn't have a whole lot of value to anybody but him. So thanks again, Jamal, for including me, and ladies for your great reading, and Michelle for calling me, and Kim for all your hard work trying to make this work technically. And but really it was a very good piece, and I'm looking forward to seeing you do more with it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
For the comments, I want to read a couple.
Michelle always comes through.
Go ahead,
for
Jim.
me. So yeah, Michelle usually comes through for me. So, you know, she's basically the person behind most of the production. So she knows what I need. So it worked.
Also want to give some kudos to Michelle for her great job narrating.
Yes.
Michelle did a great job and looking beautiful as always. Get the narrator.
Yeah, I think
everyone for your constructive
feedback.
We really appreciate it, as I'm sure as Jamal does as well. And I think we have one more person who wants to go on the mic.
Hi, Jamal. This is Garland Thompson, and I wanted to say congratulations on the reading. Great job, and also for stepping in at the last minute there. Always kind of a nail biter when that kind of thing happens. So thank you for jumping in. I'm curious for this kind of a question for the audience, I think, actually, who has by and large stayed. So we know we did good because folks have stuck around. How did folks feel about the relationship between the two ladies as it was portrayed by Jamal? Because in addition to this being about Red, it struck me as it also seemed to be about the ladies and their friendship and their relationship over the years and over the time as they shared their common love and friendship with Red. So I'm curious if anybody out there would like to say anything about that. Or
I know somebody's got a.
and you can put it in the chat room also. You can raise your hand if you'd like to speak on the microphone. We'd love to hear you speak. Or you can go ahead and put it in the chat room.
It's real. It's authentic. It's real. It's authentic. And, you know, even as women could love each other, there's always that, or in any human being, but, you know, that side hating, but then, you know, having to come to the realization of moments like, why are you hating on someone, you know, like secretly hating or being jealous when, you know, you guys are the same person.
And we also have a comment from Akeem who says it seems that Roxanne loved him more than just a friend. But she didn't get to express it.
Jamal, what do you have to say about the characters and the friendship? Was that something you were also, I imagine it had to be something you were thinking about as you were writing the piece?
Yeah, well, it's funny. A lot of the discoveries in this play come from discoveries. I didn't hardly know that much about LaWanda and Della Reese. I didn't know that they had a relationship until I really started studying him as a character and finding out both of them worked with him, but at different stages in his career. But both of them had 40 years invested in Fred. So they both had a really strong influence on him. In fact, I believe their influences were the strongest of anybody he knew, because he knew a lot of people. So, I mean, so then to bring those two together, because they're like night and day, and to bring them together, of course, that creates, that creates a bunch of dialogue that they have to deal with one another. And they dealt, one is a church lady and one is a wild club lady, but they both worked for him, to bury him, and they both worked to overcome whatever problems they had with one another. So yeah, it was kind of a discovery thing to find out how close they really were. And I didn't know that Della Reese came from St. Louis also. So, but she wasn't, LaWanda was school friends with Red in the 6th grade, but LaWanda still met him probably when he first started his career when he was a teenager. So they've known each other for a long, long time, And so, and not to say too much, one of the biggest discoveries that kind of made the story work is the fact that LaWanda felt cheated by not being involved with that Harlem Nights film, because every comedian in the country, every Black comedian in the country was in that film except for her. And in the process of talking with OJ and with LisaRoxanne, we discovered that the reason why she wasn't. So that was interesting to me. So it was a lot of discoveries that I got out of just working with the script and working with the characters. So.
If I may say something, I think one of the things that comes across, Jamal, the way you've written LaWanda, she didn't like being left out of, she felt like she was left out. He had included her in. Oh, okay.
Just can you repeat that, OJ? Thank you.
Yeah. LaWanda didn't like being left out. And I think that's an underlying theme of hers in this piece. Like he made room for everybody but me. How'd he do this to me this time? Why didn't I have a part? It's not so much about her hating on Della, but as a friend. I've known you since the 6th grade and you did something without me. That's a big piece, I think, of what's eating at her. And Harlem Nights is just the symbol of that. And it also, when we realize that Red has died, how you gonna flat leave me like that? You flat left me. So I think that's a big piece of that. And for her to have to understand, and it comes from a little bit of a selfish place because she's known him longer than anybody, but having to share his leaving with Della, she's got to share that. And it's kind of tough for her. And I think the way that you've written her, that comes across.
Stephen? Thank you so much for the comment, OJ. I'm going to read a couple more comments that were put into the chat. Francine says, I love Jamal's take on the relationship between the two ladies. It was marred with a little competition while still showing the love and mutual respect between the two. And then, let's see, Lisa McCree, I think they had a great relationship. I would have liked to learn more about them. They were jealous and had some issues with competition over parts, etc. It's difficult to write a play where there is one person who is the total topic, but I think you hit some great parts. And Nathania, I believe that Roxanne and LaWanda truly saw the value of their friendship after Red Fox's death. They had to overcome their grudges to cope. And then Laura Bowman, I think Miss Page had to be left out. I believe she didn't have the acting chops to pull off the role in the movie. And also Lisa McCree, Also, you can find sections where you can show more action, especially between the women as they learn about each other, because most of the play is talking about something that happened not in the present moment. Thank everyone for the comments. I don't know, Jamal, if you want to respond to any of those. Or...
I don't think. Jamal, you're muted.
You're muted, Jamal.
Jamal, you're muted.
Oh, I know. I said, no, they're all legitimate questions. I appreciate it. You know, there's nothing to comment about. It's true.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your feedback.
It's like anything you work on. If you're an artist, it's never finished. You're always working on it. So, I mean, even when it goes on stage and people give you all kind of accolades, there's always still something wrong that you've left out. So, I mean, I'd like to go back and look at it, but I think that I'm 90% of where I need to go with it, but I can look at those things. Those are valid questions. Yeah.
And then let's see, we have a couple more comments. Sabura says, I second what Jamal just said. And Lisa McCree, nothing is wrong, just more exploration.
I know that.
You just want LaWanda to take Della out to the back. I know.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your extremely helpful and positive and constructive feedback. We will hold it open if anyone wants to make any more comments or have any questions or go on the mic.
Thank you, Kim and Zoomcatchers, for having us and for all the hard work that you put into it. The flyer was awesome, and we are so appreciative and grateful for you guys to have us here.
Thank you so much, Michelle. It was our pleasure. We're so happy that the show went on. You guys did a spectacular job. Great job. Let's see. Laura says she can't get on the mic. You raise your hand. It's the bottom of your screen, the toolbar, the reactions button. If you click on it, you should see the prompt to do that.
Laura, it's at the bottom. Do you see it? So cute.
Laura, I just gave you access to talk if you wanted to try again.
Laura, you got to turn your speaker on.
Laura,
oh, hi. Oh, God. Okay, thank you. I didn't have that in my reactions. I didn't have whatever everybody else had. Hi, Jamal.
Hey,
God bless you. I know you were so nervous to have had to step in, but it's good for to hear it in its entirety. One of the things I put in the chat was, does anybody think that he would have been treated so disrespectfully in regards to how the IRS came and what they took had he been someone other than a man of color?
You talking about the producers?
No, I mean the IRS. When
Oh,
the
no,
IRS came in, you know, you can. There are ways to do things.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if anybody had any thoughts, or maybe he owed so much money. I don't know.
Yeah.
But some of the other things. But we had, I think you had talked about LaWanda in terms of her not being at her acting chops not being at the same level as Della.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So, and I guess that would have been hard for him to come right out and say, I don't, so that must have been hard on everybody.
Well, she's been holding on to it for years, so it's got to be a reason that she's upset about it.
Yep, yeah. But thank you so much. This, I can't wait to see when it goes to the next level.
Me too.
Congratulations, sweetie.
Thank you.
Can I address something just quickly with the point, with what Laura brought up, which I think was very valid? It comes across, and I think it's very subtle, Jamal, the way you've written it, but for LaWanda to have to accept that she's a one-trick pony. Della has a bigger range. She sings, she acts, she does, she does more. And LaWanda, near the end, has to come to grips with being a one-trick pony. And for any actor, that's difficult to accept. And there are ways to be a one-trick pony and to parlay it into a whole career. Many actors have done that. They play themselves all the time. But she doesn't have that. And Della's trying to be subtle all the way through in telling her that. But until she comes to that realization for herself, she comes across as angry and needy. Right. But she's fun. As I still continue exploring her, she does have a fun aspect to her. But the way you handle her verbally is very interesting. And I'm looking forward to exploring her more.
Good.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
It's all good. Thank you for the feedback and the comments. And thank you for everyone who has remained here. Let's see, we have another comment. Karen Brown says, bravo.
OJ.
Yes.
Anger masks vulnerability, the lack to be vulnerable.
True that. Truth, truth, truth. She can't afford to be
She don't want to be
seen.
vulnerable.
She can't afford to be too vulnerable.
Exactly. So that's why she is, we all wear masks. You just got to find out which mask she wearing.
Yeah, this is true. And also, when you look at, she keeps going back to like what she used to look like when she was, when she was a hot stripper. And her Aunt, as an older woman and playing Aunt Esther, she ain't cute no more.
She was fine though. Look at my picture. Look at my picture. She was fine.
Yeah, but that was then, and this is now.
But also the other thing is that Della looked pretty good for a long while, even, you know what I mean? So as she was fading, Della was still looking good. That's another thing.
Yeah, they both aged, they aged differently. Della did look good, period. She looked good. LaWanda, I don't know too much about her life, but she did not age well. As far as the standards of beauty go, she looked her age. She looked old. She looked tired.
Thus the rationality that she could not have been in Harlem Nights when it's about madams and ladies of the night who are glamorous.
She ain't cute.
Right.
Well, the makeup they did on Jasmine Guy in that movie didn't help her, but still, there's so many things that pieces of who she is that don't work for that. And then he flat left her. How you gonna do this without me? We've been together since the 6th grade. How you do this to me?
Right.
And she says that in so many different ways. And your point about her anger, she's lashing out at everybody. She's lashing out at anybody who will listen because she's having a difficult time accepting this. And then he dies. And that's the ultimate flat leave, you know, he dies. How you do this? What's going to happen to me now? You gone. Who's going to give me a job? Who's going to look out for me?
Well, yeah, that's also it too, because he's always protected her, looked out for her. And so in death, now those gigs she used to get, she's not going to get them. She's not going to get the gigs. Nobody's on her six. Right. As far as she can see, nobody's on her six. She doesn't even, she's so, and she's scared. Once he dies, she becomes very frightened. She's very scared. And to the point where it's difficult for her to see Della's on her 9.
And
You know,
then, you
she's-
know, the two things for the actress to play that plays her is, even though she's coming out one side of her mouth saying, you know, how could you leave me? There's a part of her that knows that he never really would want to leave her because he keeps taking care of her. So she's like, you know, her anger is almost the antithesis of each other, you know, because one minute she's talking about you leave me, but then also in the play she talks about how many roles he kept giving her, and every time he went someplace he found a place for her. So if he didn't find a place for her and he was still helping her, then that makes her have to look in the mirror and look in her, you know, look to her inner self, and that's scary too.
Mm-hmm. Because now who am I without you?
Mm-hmm.
You're gone, and Aunt Esther is a character, but she's really, you know, what happens, she has to find out who Alberta Peel is all over again. Because she has left Alberta Peel so far behind. And when there's no Aunt Esther, there's no LaWanda Page. And when there's no Bronze Goddess of Fire, there's no LaWanda Page.
These are awesome conversations. Unfortunately, the Zoom catchers have to log out. So if you guys would like to continue, we can set up a conversation for Jamal to have with his beautiful, look at you, Jamal, with all these beautiful ladies all up in a room supporting you.
You know, we can go until about 7 if people had any more comments or.
I'm going to be I'm
7,
quiet.
10 Eastern Standard Time.
Well,
I do have there's some couple more comments in the chat. Let's see, Lisa McCree. I think these are some of the conversations the women could have had in the play with each other, add more depth to their relationship. And then more comments about the typecasting. She didn't have the right look. And if you remember, the characters there was not spot on for her.
And that's, because that part they talk about, like, there wasn't a part for you. But this is good feedback, Jamal.
So far, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Now
catch you in my next reading.
Let's get it on stage. Like OJ.
We have a prospect. I just can't say anything yet, so I'm checking out. Hopefully, cross. Keep your finger. Pray to Jesus, Buddha, your toes, your shoulder. Just pray, and that this one prospect pans out for Jamal. I'm trying, and you guys will all be the first to know. Zoom catchers first, and then Zoom catchers will let you all know. How about that?
Thank you so much, everyone, for your attendance and your participation. It's been an excellent conversation. I know I appreciated and hearing what your thoughts were, and I know Jamal did as well.
And support the
We'll
Zoom.
be back next month for our next reading. Check your socials. Check the FSWW website. And we are here to support the Playwrights.
Yeah. Kim, do you keep a mailing list from these webinars?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So so whenever you guys, Lisa had her play read last month, and FSWW is getting back in gear. So support. Do you guys have a platform for, because there are some playwrights in the room, do you have a platform for playwrights to submit a play to be read in this platform, yay or nay?
Yes, actually, we do. And in fact, I'm happy to announce that we're looking, June, we're calling Science Month. So we're looking for plays that deal with science. Any form, any type, past, present, future.
Science fiction?
Yes, science fiction. We are looking for science fiction. We're very interested in science fiction. Afrofuturism would qualify, tales of past lives, different things. So anything to do with science, could be time traveling, could be any kind of science fiction you can think of. So if there's anybody that's interested, you can send an email to FSWW, that's the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop initials, F is in Frank, S is in Silvera, W is in Writers, W is in Workshop, at restorationplaza.org. You can submit your play there. Please send a little an email, a little letter of introduction of yourself. A little, if you can include a small bio, short bio of yourself and your play, go ahead and submit it because we are actively looking for plays now. We've got 2 spots in June that we are looking to fill. So we're very excited about that and very excited about being able to get back in the saddle. It's been a couple of years with the pandemic. We've been on hiatus, but it's very exciting to get back in the saddle, at least virtually, and hopefully back in person soon too. But in the meantime, like I said, if there are any writers who are interested who have anything along the lines of science fiction, please reach out to us at fsww@restorationplaza.org. You can find it in the chat room, and we'll be happy to hear from you.
Okay, we are going to wrap it up unless there's any final comments, any last holdouts. We have Francine wishing everyone a happy Memorial Day. Thank you so much. Hopefully this is a 3-day weekend for everybody here. And once again, thank you so much for being here. We all know that you could have been doing something else, but you chose to be here and support the Playwrights and support the magic of writing. And we want to thank Jamal Williams and everyone that is here. Michelle Baldwin, who's still here in our room, and everyone that hung around.
Thank you, beautiful.
Also, LisaRoxanne, OG Nelson, everybody that participated in this wonderful play. And Susan Turner, Watson Turner, for directing this piece.
Yes, thank you, Susan. You were awesome. And Kim, your message to Carmen Zita went to me. So
okay.
Make it up.
I'm going to put it back. Carmen Zita, Kim sent you a message. Unfortunately, it came to me privately. I'm going to put it in. I don't know how to, you have to send it to her, I guess. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, we can answer. Actually, Carmen Zita, if you're still out there, yes, we are definitely looking for readers. So if you're, I believe it is something that says regarding your husband. Yes, please have your husband reach out to us at that same email address. Introduce himself to us, send us a picture and a resume, and we'll be happy to include him in as we're looking for actors for our future readings.
Awesome. All right,
Great.
everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great Memorial Day. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
So